Hi guys, it's the D's in the house. Watch your mouth. How's everybody doing today? Hope everybody's doing well. Came on, have a little lunch with you guys. Lunch slash dinner, so I'm probably not gonna eat again. It's my first meal of the day. I got some sweet peppers and I got some chicken. I fried some chicken. I got some ranch, got my water, and I got my glass of wine. And it is hot, okay? Let me say my grace. Father God, I want to thank you for this food I'm about to receive. And I want to thank you for all my blessings, Lord. Please bless all of my friends and family on and off YouTube, and please bless those less fortunate. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. Amen, amen, amen. Alright guys, so let me get some chicken. What you guys eating with me today? I'm just eating chicken and vegetables because it's hot. It's so hot. And I think it's mainly hot because I cooked. I mean, I was frying this chicken. I ain't cooked like that. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot my hot sauce. I'll be right back. Alright, guys. I'm back. You know, I always forget to do a thumbnail. I'm going to do a thumbnail. Alright. So, let's talk about that movie. Shout out to Mr. Splashman. Mr. Splashman, I'm so sorry it took me a little while to do this review for you that you requested. The request to do this movie, do a review on the movie ANON from Netflix was from Mr. Splashman. Okay, so let me start by saying that this movie is a futuristic movie. There's something that when I first watched, that's why I had to watch it twice, because I just didn't quite understand it at first. But I had to sit down and watch it away from Zyla, because that's the first time I tried to watch it. She was around bugging me, so yeah. Y'all see the chicken, right? Y'all want some? Get some. It's right there in front of you. Get it. Get all you want. Okay, so when the movie first came on, you just see a man walking down the street. And as he's walking down the street, you can see everybody's record. Basically, you can see their mind. You can see as they're walking down the street, above their head is their name, their occupation, and how old they are. And then you can see some other stuff on the side. I guess you can't really read it because it's really small, but basically telling you all their business. So in this movie, the government wants everything to be transparent. No hidden agendas. Anything that you do, it's going to be shown. They have a way to look in your record, which is in your mind, and see exactly what you're up to. I guess if needed. I don't think they do that they don't just go around looking in people's mind. I think if it's warranted, then and they have to, then they will. Like, so to come and find out that man that was walking down the street was a detective. Now, when he was walking down the street, like I said, everybody's name and everything, you can see all that. He walked past this one lady, and her record said, error, unknown error, something like that, basically. He kind of like looked back at her, you know, like, what's going on with her, but he kept it moving. Okay. Keep in mind that this detective, you know me, I'm going to be jumping all over the place. This detective had a son that got killed, got ran over by like a Mack truck. So, that's neither here nor there, but I have to bring that up in order for you to understand stuff later on. Okay. I don't want to make this video too long, though. Okay, so fast forward. People where they live at are getting killed. Okay? They're just coming up murdered. And it was the same MO. They was always shot right between the eyes. Right here. Everybody got shot that way. So, some kind of way, the detective had brought the fact that he was walking down the street, and he seen this lady and she didn't have no record. So, that's neither here nor there either, but you'll get it in a minute. So, moving forward, people are still getting murdered. As they're sitting at the headquarters in the office, and the detective, his name is Saul, he's talking to the head, his boss, and like I said, he brought it up that he was walking down the street and the lady didn't have no record or whatever. So he said, send me her, her face. You could do everything is done through the mind in this movie. It's nothing. It was really, really weird. Like I said, that's why I had to watch it twice. Okay, so he said, I don't have a record of her. This lady, I want you to keep in mind, this lady is one of the few people that have the ability to go into another person's mind and erase something. Like, say you did something that you didn't want nobody to find out about, did a crime or whatever. She had that ability to go in there and erase that part. Whether it was like a 30-minute part or an hour or whatever. She had the ability to do that. But she cost a lot of money. It wasn't for free, and she only took cash. But that's neither here nor there till later. I keep saying that, but true. So, it looked like this lady was killing everybody that had hired her. Now, she was hired by a man that was like this high-class stockbroker, had a lot of money, but got caught up with drugs. I think he was like a heroin addict. He hired her for some reason. And he came up dead. These two lesbians hired her because they didn't want to erase certain parts of their memories. They didn't want to be tied together because they didn't want their families to know that they were lesbians and that they were seeing each other, because they were like, and these families were like these well-known high-class families is what I'm going to say. But I'm jumping ahead. But anyway, so moving forward, they wanted to find out all about this lady. They didn't quite know, but it was looking like she was doing all this stuff. She was killing these people, and they didn't know her motive. And when they tried to look into her record, she doesn't exist. There's nothing about her exists, nothing. So they brought in this other guy. I guess he's supposed to be this high-tech guy or whatever. That was good about getting people's records. When I say records, it's basically they was able to go in people's minds and look at their history, everything they did that day, and probably even yesterday, or even, you know what I mean? I think that they had the ability to do that, but the one girl had the ability to go into your mind and erase. I mean, she was bad. She was good. She did a lot of stuff, but we're gonna get to that. So they couldn't. So they finally got into her mind, and the way the way that it's really, really crazy. It's confusing. You got to see it if you didn't watch it. You got to see it to understand it. But they had the ability to go into her mind and see what she see. So they're not looking at her like that. They're in her eye. They're looking at everything that she's seeing. I'm looking at you like that, but they're looking like I'm looking at my light. That's what they're seeing. I don't know if you can understand what I'm saying, but yeah, they had the ability to see in people's minds, but they can see everything that your eyes were seeing, which I thought was like really, really strange. I thought it was like, I'm like, what's going on? That's why I had to like watch it. I'm like, okay, they had the ability to do that. So they finally got into her mind or whatever, and You know, just seeing different things that she was doing. She had, you know, dealing with some other guy, some painter guy that had hired her. He came up dead. So Saul, the private detective, the undercover detective, said, okay, the only way that we're going to find out what's really going on is I'm going to hire her like everybody else did. So he basically came up with this whole fake profile of himself, made himself look like this high paid stockbroker with a nice, you know, upscale apartment, and had a fiance, which he didn't have one, and all that stuff. So he did this whole fake profile, hired a hooker, slept with her, pretended to call his fiance, and then hired this lady who can erase memories. Okay, so I'm sorry, guys. Tears. So he erased the memory. So she did it. She came to the house. He was asking her all kinds of questions. She erased the memories of him having that encounter with the prostitute or whatever. And then the girl asked, I forget what the girl basically goes by ANON. That's her, I guess, her cyber name, I want to say, her business name or whatever. Anyway, ANON did all that. Then we erased the prostitute's memory too, and then, you know, she took her money and she left. So the movie goes on. Well, before she left, she held the gun up to his head because he was asking her a lot of questions. The private detective was asking Anna a lot of questions, and he was asking. He was like, "Well, why? Can you erase this memory of all this? What just happened?" She said, "I can erase all your memories." And then she had the gun up against him, and then, but he had his back turned towards her, and then all you hear was a boom, but she didn't shoot him. But anyway, so that was that. Then he gets and the way it's weird because the way they get phone calls or, you know, make phone calls, they just like look into the space or look at a wall or a surface or something, and I guess in their mind they're doing everything with their mind. They're saying, call Kristen or whoever, you know what I mean? And then the thing comes up, and then you see the person's face up there or whatever. Or that's the same way they would text too. It was like no cell phones. It's just everything is just like really, really futuristic. So then he gets the call saying that, you know, shots was fired at some hotel room. So he goes to the hotel room. First responder was a regular police officer. And, you know, Saul was asking him all kinds of questions and stuff. And so then Saul was asking, where's backup, this, that, and the other. The police officer saying they're on their way. And then he looks and looks into the scene of what was going on. How these people, because what had ended up happening was that it was the two lesbians that had hired her, that I told you about, had hired her, and now they came up missing in this hotel room. But Saul was telling the police officer, like, how many people's in here? He was like, just me, you, and the housekeeper. And Saul was like, oh, there's somebody else in this house. Sure enough, you know, that lady was in there, killed the police officer. Saul went running after her. She ran down into a subway. Now, which is crazy too, because she had the ability to make things look a certain way, and they didn't. Like, so when he was running down the stairs to go to the subway where she was at, it looked like the stairs had broke up. Like there was a flight of stairs and a level and a flight of stairs. But in all actuality, the stairs just went straight, and it looked like it didn't to him because that's the way she made it look. I'm telling you, this girl was bad. She had a lot of talents when it come to that mind stuff. So he down there in the subway, and he's looking for her, and once again, she made it look like the subway was there, the train was there, and he was just like looking inside with his gun like this. Well, in all actuality, the train wasn't even there, and and then the train did start coming, and kind of like knocked him back, and he fell out or whatever. Yeah. So he went back to the station, and he was saying all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? He was telling them everything that I just told you about the stairs and the subway, this, that, and the other. He was actually looking. They was looking in his memory. They couldn't see what he had saw because she made it for his eyes to see only. If that makes any sense. But yeah, so he decided to hire her again. This time he went and bought some cocaine, hired her. And then she was like, "You sure you're not you sure you're not you sure you just didn't want to see me? That's the reason why you hired me, this, that, and the other." And he was like, "Oh, you don't like repeat offenders or some shit," he said. I mean something, excuse me. Something he said. Oops. And so they did a line or two, and they ended up having sex or whatever. They ended up having sex. Then she left. But when she left, she like kind of remembered seeing him. Because first she didn't put two and two together at first. She remembered seeing him. And then all of a sudden, the partner that he moved into, okay, I forgot to tell you guys this, but anyway, when he moved into this apartment, his partner that works with him at the station actually moved into the apartment next door to, they were all trying to figure this whole thing out. So he had moved into there, and he had all the while she was there, he was like looking into her record, trying to, just trying to analyze her and stuff. He ended up dead. And the dude looked like she did it. It looked like she got mad, and she went over to this partner's house, killed him. He ended up calling her and was like, "You killed him? Why would you do that?" And she was like, "I told you, don't F with me." You know what I'm saying? Don't try to put one over on me. And she said, "Don't come looking for me, because if you do, you're going to wish that you was dead." And when I say she messed with that man and messed with that man and messed with that man, yeah, she messed with that man. She made it look like he had rats in his house. She made it look like, she just made it look like craziness. And she kept making the memory of the way his son got killed. She kept putting that. She was sending that to him every day, just messing with him, taunting him. But she was doing all this for a reason, because she knew somebody was framing her. She knew it. And she kind of almost, I think she almost like figured out who was doing it, but she wasn't quite sure. So she had to lure the killer to Saul. You know what I mean? So finally, you know what I'm saying? The guy had, Saul thought that the girl had framed him, because he was still seeing things that wasn't there. He was seeing fire in his apartment building hallway, and he was shooting. I don't know why this fool was shooting a gun at the fire, but he was. And I'm scared this thing gonna cut off. I'm trying to wrap this up. Oh, excuse me. So and then the neighbor that came out was like, "Saul, you okay? It's me, so and so, this, that, and the other." And he had shot fire. He had, like I said, he was shooting at the fire. But when the illusion was over with, because it wasn't there, it was all illusion. When the illusion was over there, he walked past the man, his neighbor, and was getting ready to get in the elevator. But when he got in the elevator, he seen the floor. But then all of a sudden, because the floor was an illusion, whoever was making him think that there was a floor there, and it wasn't. So he almost fell down, but he didn't. He went back into his apartment building with this, that, and the other, and went to sleep. So then it came out that it looked like Saul had shot his neighbor. They suspended him. They did all that. It didn't stop him though. I mean, he was pretty tricky and pretty clever too. Had the cops surveillance in his house. He made it look like he went to sleep, kept his eyes closed, felt around, went downstairs, and he did his thing, went to go find a girl, whatever. The bottom line is, it wasn't the girl the whole time that was doing all this killing. It was the. Remember when I told you guys about the cop they hired to help them out? Well, I don't know. He was some kind of analyst. I want to say he's like some kind of high-tech computer analyst or something like that. He was somebody to make it look like. I mean, somebody that knew all about the ins and outs or whatever. It was that guy that was making it look like. Making it look like she was killing people, and he was the one doing it. I never quite got the motive of why he was doing that, though. But yeah, the movie is really, really good. And I know I skipped around a lot, but if you didn't see the movie and you want to see the movie, I didn't want to really spoil it for you. So, but shout out, like again, shout out to Mr. Splashman because for recommending that movie. That movie was good, but you have to sit down and watch it. You have to, because if you don't, you're not going to understand what they're talking about. What's going on? I had to watch it a couple times. So that was my review of the movie ANON on Netflix. I hope you guys enjoy it. And I will be talking to you guys really, really soon. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you're new, I hope you come back and watch some more of my videos. Thanks for all my peeps out there. I'll be checking you guys out soon. Peace.